Well, hello everyone, and thank you for being here. This is VBS, Virtual Bible School 2020 Online Home Edition, or wherever you find yourself. We're just again glad that we can put together some of these resources and hope it provides a fun experience for you to do with your family or friends or whoever you gather with. The overall theme of this year is Build Up, and that theme verse that we're looking at is from Hebrews, the 3rd chapter, the 4th verse. Every house is built by someone, but the builder of all things is God. Every house is built by someone, but the builder of all things is God. That's our theme verse for this week of VBS. And again, we just hope that you're going to learn with us how we can join God and build up through wisdom, friends, faith, and love. So those are our 4 days: wisdom, friends, faith, and love that we'll focus on. And again, we'll just get to that first day in just a minute. First, though, I wanted to just have an intro song, a fun song to share with you, maybe a new one for you that you haven't heard. And it's called I've Got So Much. And this song, I've Got So Much, is we name the things that we're thankful for. So I've got so much to be thankful for. And we say that actually so much 13 times. And so each time I invite you to maybe have your hands kind of close together at the beginning, and then each time you say it, make it bigger and 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 bigger. You might even fall over because you've got so much to be thankful for. So it would be, I've got so much, 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 so much to be thankful for. So I hope you enjoyed this first intro song to VBS 2020 Build Up. The words are, I've got so much to be thankful for, and you say so much a lot, because we have a lot to be thankful for. And then we have some other verses, like our friends and family, like Jesus' love for me, or like the birds up in the tree to be thankful for. So we'll try to sing it and join along as you learn it. I've got so much, 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 so much to be thankful for. I've got so much, 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 so much to be thankful for. I've got my friends and family to be thankful for. I've got my friends and family to be thankful for. I've got my friends and family to be thankful for. I've got my friends and family to be thankful for. We've got so much. I've got so much, 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 so much to be thankful for. I've got so much, 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 so much to be thankful for. Birds up in the tree. I've got the birds up in the tree to be thankful for. Awesome. Well, again, I hope you enjoyed that song. I know I enjoy it, and hopefully we'll sing it maybe another couple times throughout this week's events. Our first, again, day one theme for today to share with you is wisdom. So we have a memory verse, and then again, we'll talk about the story, another song, and a little clip from Right Now Media before we get into our other activities and things like that. So the memory verse for today, day one, again, wisdom, is from Psalm 127, verse 1. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. So I thought what we'd do for the memory verse to really try to get that ingrained is to take it word by word and add a word each time until we get to the end. Let's see if we can do that together. So the first word is unless. Unless the Lord, unless the Lord builds, unless the Lord builds the, unless the Lord builds the house, unless the Lord builds the house, those, unless the Lord builds the house, those who, unless the Lord builds the house, those who build, unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. So really, this is our memory verse. And again, as you remember it and repeat it, it's just to remind us that God builds and fulfills all the things that we are a part of. God brings it to life. God brings it to fulfillment and fruition. And there's a lot of things, again, in this world that can tear things down and wear us down and tire us out and all the different things that can be hard. So we ask God to be with us, to give us strength, to build us up, and for us to join God in building others up and build up the world around us. So unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. We're going to hear a story about a house built on the rock. And that's next. Hope you enjoy it.
So, House on the Rock. Jesus liked to teach people by telling them stories. Sometimes he told stories called parables. Through parables, people learned God would help them, especially when things were not easy in their lives. Jesus told this parable about two houses to many people as he sat with them on a mountain one day. I want to tell you about two different people. Each one wanted to build a house. One person was very smart and one was very silly. The smart person built a house on a sturdy rock. Bad weather came. Boom, echoed the thunder and shook the little house as lightning streaked across the sky. Plop, plop, plop dripped the heavy raindrops that fell on the roof. Whoosh, sighed the cold wind as it blew against the walls. The house didn't fall down though, because the smart person had built it on the sturdy rock. The silly person built a house on sand, and something very different happened. Bad weather came. Boom, echoed the thunder and shook that little house too, as lightning streaked across the sky. Plop, plop, plop dripped the heavy raindrops that fell on the roof. Whoosh, sighed the cold wind as it blew against the walls. Guess what happened this time? Because the silly person built the house on sand, crash, it fell down. If you listen to me, you are building your life on the sturdy rock of God. If you don't listen to me, you are building your life on ideas that are like the sand that shifts and blows away. When Jesus finished talking, the people on the mountain were surprised by his words. They had never heard stories like that from their rabbis before. Jesus was a wonderful teacher who helped them learn how to always trust God.
So after our story now, we get to share another song. And this is a song, again, it might be new to you. It's a song that we build up sort of one verse or one motion at a time, and we get it built bigger and bigger, and it goes longer and longer. And you can, again, add your own motions and sounds and movements as well if you want to at home. It's called On a Day Like This, and it reminds us that we need the Lord to help us in challenging times, in frustrating times, in difficult times, and even in the happy times. We still need God to be with us, to share our joy and our challenges. And certainly, as we sing a song and learn something new and do something different, we ask God to be with us. So I hope you enjoy this song. All right, so we're going to do this song that's called On a Day Like This. And you repeat after me. So, on a day like this, on a day like this, and then just once, on a day like this, I need the Lord to help me. And we're going to add another one and build up. On a day like this, snap, snap. On a day like this, snap, snap. On a day like this, snap. I need the Lord to help me. Now maybe a few fun song motions and sounds. So, okay. On a day like this, snap, snap, ooga, ooga. On a day like this, snap, snap, ooga, ooga. On a day like this, snap, ooga. I need the Lord to help me. On a day like this, snap, snap, ooga, ooga, honk, honk. On a day like this, snap, snap, ooga, ooga, honk, honk. On a day like this, snap, ooga, honk. I need the Lord to help me. On a day like this, snap, snap, ooga, ooga, honk, honk, woo, woo. On a day like this, snap, snap, ooga, ooga, honk, honk, woo, woo. On a day like this, snap, ooga, honk, woo. I need the Lord to help me. Thanks. That was a lot of fun.
That was good.
Good job.
I liked it.
Okay, so now we have a little time to watch something from Right Now Media. Again, it's one of our resources. And again, you can just get in contact with us to get plugged into that and get a log on if you don't have one yet. Contact, again, either me or the church office would be a great way to get started. And we can send you an email link to get started with the Right Now Media resources. There's a whole bunch of them you can take your time to go through and watch. The one we're going to watch today, though, is God Rocks. On that series, they have a parable playhouse. And session 16, the Tippy Tree Fort, kind of relates to our story as well. So I hope you enjoy this from Right Now Media.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Parable Playhouse. We call today's story Building a Tree Fort. And it's based upon a story that Jesus taught about building a tower in Luke 14, verse 25. Once upon a time, a funny little blue rock boy, who me, decided to build a tree fort in his backyard.
Okay, let's see. How to build a tree fort. It says here I'm gonna need wood, nails, a hammer, a tape measure. I wonder what for. Forget it. I don't need these silly directions. Building a tree fort is easy. I'll just grab some of my dad's tools and find some junk around the yard. There we go. Now let's build a tree fort. Oh, Ruff! Get off of me! Silly rockhound. Okay, what do I need first? There. Whoa! It still needs something. Well, what What do you think? It's pretty spiking, huh?
Yeah. What is it?
It's a tree fort.
Really?
It is?
You sure it's safe?
Sure. See? Whoa.
Why do you think Chip's tree fort fell apart?
He didn't read the directions.
You're right, because Chip didn't follow the directions.
Yeah.
Did you know that God has given us directions for life?
Wow.
Well, it's true.
Cool.
The Bible contains all of the directions we need to live a good life and keep it together, not fall apart when someone or something tries to shake our tree, if you know what I mean. See you next time on Parable Playhouse.
Now we have our sheet of blueprints, and this is really where you definitely get to make it your own this year. Again, whatever works for you, whatever you have in your toolbox, that list of supplies or things around your house to be creative with, and hopefully, again, just have some fun applying what we've learned, learning more about the story, going in depth, having a snack, playing some games and activities and opportunities to serve. The first thing there, though, is a coloring sheet in WordFind. So that's one of our resources that you can just download either on our Facebook page, there's pictures of that, or on our website in PDF format, easy to print. Just download that whole thing for day one, and inside you'll see a WordFind and some coloring sheets. You can take some time to do that and enjoy that this afternoon. Next, though, is then a craft after that. And so a craft is to make your favorite building, a house, out of whatever material you wanted. Maybe you have Legos at home. Maybe you like to go with Play-Doh or other cardboard boxes or shoe boxes or things like that too. Whatever it is that you'd like to build with and enjoy making a house. Could be big, could be small. What's yours going to look like? Maybe you'll share it with us. You can, again, post something on Facebook if you like, or just email a picture, again, to me at associatepastor@martinslutheran.com. Or again, to the church office would be fine as well too. So I'll show you just a couple quick examples of a couple houses that we made. All right, so now we're kind of about halfway through, and definitely maybe a time for a snack. If you've prepared one already, that's great. We're looking for something you can stack up and build up. So if you have a stackable snack, go ahead and see how high can you stack it. And then maybe you can, again, make the sign of a cross before you enjoy eating that snack too. Here's an example of what that might look like. Now for our activity today, if you have a game of Jenga or some cups, that's some ways to stack up and play some different games. And I wonder what it's like to play on a flat level surface, like a desk, a table, the floor, or sidewalk outside. And then maybe try to play that same game of balancing or stacking things up on an uneven surface, maybe the sand, or again, some grass, or something that's just really uneven or unstable or soft. Even maybe considering water, like the sense of the storm, of the wind and the rain that came upon the houses in our story from earlier. How did that solid foundation affect what you could build, how high you could build, versus maybe the uneven foundation as well too. So enjoy that, and here's a few thoughts and ideas and pictures of what that might look like. thanks for joining us here. And our final option that we wanted to put together and was a way to serve, a way to offer or give back that can show up in a variety of different ways. For today, we thought we'd suggest some non-perishable food items, something again that you can donate to the food pantry in town is a great opportunity to serve if you'd like to. And so you can stack those up maybe, whatever you wanted to donate, see what sort of shape, style, a house or some other thing that you wanted to make. Send a picture and share with us if you decided to do this. And then again, you can drop off those donations in town or somewhere else that you'd like to donate that. So stack it up, build it up, and share it again with our community. Hope you had a great first day of Vacation Bible School 2020 online, Build Up, our home edition. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.